Hey, it's Amanda from the Fundamental Home, and today is Wednesday, and I had someone ask me a question about my homeschool bookshelves, and I thought for today's VEDA video, that's video every day in April, that I would talk to you about how I minimize my homeschool bookshelves. Now, we actually have all of our homeschool books on 3 shelves, and it's on a 6-foot tall bookcase, which I'm going to show you in just a second, and 3 shelves are on the bottom that we actually use for our homeschool books. Now, that doesn't mean that's the only bookshelves that we have in our house. We actually have many bookshelves in our house. They're just spread throughout. For instance, this one right here is actually in our living room, and it has books that we have used in the past for homeschool, but they're not really homeschool books. These are just reference materials. This particular bookshelf is full of reference materials. I'm getting out of the way so you can see it, that we want to keep as part of a family kind of library collection. So on this particular bookshelf, I wanted to show you what we have on our bookshelf so you just have an idea of the things that we keep and the things that we don't keep. So on this one we have the Harvard Classics Library, and you have things on here like Cervantes, Emerson, there's Plutarch, there's American historical documents, there's lots of things on here. There's some Marlowe, Shakespeare, all kinds of things that we just have. And I love classic literature when it comes to homeschool. So I want to encourage my family to make sure that they're reading classic literature versus more modern fiction. It's just, I don't know, I'm old-fashioned, what can I say? So also over here we have just a different collection which has like Ben-Hur, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Best Works of Robert Louis Stevenson. Up here we have Reader's Digest, Best Loved Books for Young Readers. It has things in it like The Scarlet Pimpernel, The Good Earth, which is one of my favorite books, Sherlock Holmes, just other things like that, Jefferson's Letters, and another treasury of children's stories. So these are just the classic literature, and of course my Charlotte Bronte collection, because my absolute favorite book ever, my favorite book of all time, is Jane Eyre. So we have all of that here. Over on the end, I actually have 2 lamplighter books. I have The White Knights, which is required, it's one of my required reading books for my children. Lamplighter series, White Knights, and we do a lot of projects with this that maybe I'll share that on its own particular video. And Jessica's First Prayer. And I found this one at a thrift store, and that's why I bought it. It was like 10 cents for a lamplighter book, so I was like, I have to have it. And then this one I actually purchased, and good book. I think it was like $15, but they're hardback. These are classics. So that's what we have there. The only other things that I have on this bookshelf, I have my President series. It's really old. I'm going to bring this over here so you can see it. So you can come on over, and you can see from the condition that they're in how old this presidential series is. I mean, it only goes up to Johnson. Okay, so it's really not a modern series. But I found it to be really in-depth in the information that it covers. So I like to use that when studying presidents. And of course my children learn their presidents in order very quickly using the president song, which, I mean, I'm not a singer, but I'll tell you, it's the one that goes, Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Adams, Jackson, Vieira, Harrison, Tyler, Polk, Taylor, Fillmore, Houston, can. I'm not going any further. But that's the song that they use, and they all know it, and they all know all their presidents in order very quickly. So, in addition to that, we have a full set of encyclopedias. Now, we have the internet now. So, we use the internet. But when I first started homeschooling, we actually didn't have the internet. And so in order to look things up, our children actually use this encyclopedia set. It's a really old encyclopedia set. I think it only goes up to 1992 for its yearbooks and its editions. So everything in it isn't 100% accurate at this point. But a lot of the information in it hasn't changed and won't change. So I think it's still a really good reference material to have in your home. Just in case. I mean, I'm one of those people that I like to think about the future. I really like to lean toward the prepping side of things, and I like to have certain materials in my home for the future just to have. So this is my one bookshelf. It is not what I consider part of my homeschool bookshelf. This is more like a family reference library. My actual homeschool materials are in the other room. So I'm going to take you over there and you can see my bookshelves in there. Okay, so we're in our family room now. It's on one side of our house. And in this room, we actually have two 6-foot tall bookshelves. So I'm gonna show you what they look like, okay? And top to bottom here, we have baskets on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves. And this is the one that's actually, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I did not clean up this bookshelf. This is what it actually looks like right now, okay? And so these top 2 bookshelves are just fiction books that we have in the home. And this rotates, I get rid of them more often than not. The bottom 3 shelves, this one, and this one, are what I consider my actual homeschool materials. And at the moment, this shelf right here actually houses the books that we are using this particular year. So I only have one child in my home that's homeschooling. And so this is her materials. Now obviously she's not studying for the SATs, she's only in 7th grade. She's not studying for the SATs, she's certainly not planning to take the LSAT, this is for Brian. Obviously that's an old one, but he's using that for practice. But these are her books. This next shelf over here does have a couple of books for her, but I mean, the writer's market, that's not hers. I mean, these are reading books, we're not really using those. This is just some extra materials that we have that I just haven't gotten rid of, but all of this will go away this year because obviously she's beyond the 6th grade for the most part. I'm just using this for supplemental materials right now. So all of this is just what we have. And then this stuff is the things that I am kind of keeping for future years. Not all of it will stay. I pretty much purge every year and try to get rid of things that obviously if it doesn't apply to next year, if it doesn't apply to 8th grade and up, it's going to be gone. Because I don't like to have things lingering. You know, just on the thought of getting rid of things on your homeschool bookshelves. A lot of times people keep materials because they have that whole prepping mindset, or you could say hoarding mindset. I don't want to say that you're hoarding stuff. But let's face it, sometimes we do. You know, we bought it and we just don't want to get rid of it. But you really have to think about it like, you know how they say your clothes in your closet, if you haven't worn them in over a year, you should get rid of them. It's kind of like that with your homeschool books. If you bought some materials for one child and you kept that material for the whole year, didn't work for that child, didn't work for you with that child, chances are it's probably not going to work for your other children. I mean, if it's really that bad that you just kind of put it aside and didn't use it and it wasn't useful, it's probably not going to work for your other children. So there's no sense in keeping it. You know, you're really just loading up your house with stuff that's not useful. And that's just more stuff to clean, that's more stuff that's cluttering, that's more stuff that's stressing you out that you want to get rid of. And you don't need that in your life. You really don't. So don't be afraid to get rid of things because, you know, everything isn't helpful. If it's not something that's specifically good for you, blessing to you, then it really has the potential to be harmful to you, just in that it takes up mental space. So just get rid of it and don't even be shy about it. And if you want to look at it in a positive light, you can just think to yourself, you know what, if I donate it, it's going to be a blessing to somebody else. Maybe somebody else couldn't afford many things and it's a good option for them. So just feel good that you've provided an opportunity for someone else to be able to homeschool at a good price, and you know, you can be an encouragement and blessing to them. So that's one thing about getting rid of things. And I'm going to show you my other bookshelf. Head over here. And again, I didn't clean it. So again, this one is actually pretty empty. We have a few fiction books. I have a basket. I love baskets. This is like my cookbook collection, or this is my bookshelf. My husband has an office, and he has 2 bookshelves full of his stuff. Now, a lot of this whole frugal gourmet thing, all of these, those are actually my husband's. He is a frugal gourmet fan. And here's Martha. You all know I love Martha, so Martha's hanging out on my bookshelf. One of my favorite books I'm reading right now. Well, I've read it before like a million times, but Back to Eden, Jethro Kloss, love that. So anyway, these are like cookbooks and things that I keep around. I got a lot of house plans, homekeeping handbook, also Martha, genius. I consult that often. This is my collection of things that are homesteading-ish that I'm adding to.
fairly frequently. We actually used the small gas engines for the boys with our homeschool one year. And it was a really good book. It was recommended, I think, with Christian Light. So we have square put gardening, root cellaring. So all of those things are related to homesteading. That's that shelf. This bottom shelf, we have more cooking, a lot of cooking and some gardening things in here. I have my Foxfire books. Click that like button if you like Foxfire books, because they are amazing. There's so much great advice in there. Traditional American farming techniques is there on the end. So this is my bookshelves, and again, I only have three bookshelves just for me. And these probably could go to the other side, but they don't. This right here is my collection. That's okay, we'll pick it up in a minute. Of cooking magazines. So these are the ones that I actually keep, that I actually use the recipes out of. If I am not using it, it goes away. So it's kind of junky, ignore that. I mean, I've had it forever. But these are my bookshelves. In each of the children's room, let me flip this around so you can see me again. And I'm here. So in each of our children's rooms, they all have a bookshelf of their own. Ricky's bookshelf is full of manga and anime. I intend to do a full video on manga and comic books as literature. Entire video on that. And then Brian has 3 bookshelves. He's getting ready to buy a 4th. Brian's bookshelves are full of physics and economics and calculus, and like, that's Brian's bookshelves. I have nothing to say about that. And then Brianna's bookshelves are pretty much full of like American Girl crafts. Like, she doesn't have a ton of books. Any books, she likes to read some of Ricky's manga books, but we haven't found anything that's really to her liking since she stopped with American Girl. So I'm hoping that she'll find something that's more in her interest as she gets a little older. So we'll see how that goes. But that's our bookshelves. My husband, like I said, has 2 bookshelves in his office, and my husband has been in ministry for a while, and so most of them are related to the Bible and biblical study, counsel, growing church, things like that. So those are his books, you know. So we have many bookshelves in our house. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8, 9, 10 bookshelves in my house. 3 actual shelves on all of those big units are related to homeschooling. Everything else is just stuff that we keep in our house. The main piece of advice that I could give you for limiting the number of books in your house is just to remember that your house is a container, essentially, and you only have so much space, and if you don't have space for it, then you need to go through and get rid of it. And I like to continually purge and get rid of things. I don't want my house looking junky. I cannot deal with it. My husband likes cleanliness, and that's just a lot to dust. I mean, I'm gonna turn myself this way so you can see me in the right light. But anyway, so I don't want to have too much around. And you know what else is really great? The library. Like, I'm not one of those people who has a big CD, DVD collection. I don't need all that in my house all the time. In fact, I think there are like almost no movies. I have just a handful of movies in this house that belong to me. One is the Keira Knightley Pride and Prejudice, because I love it. And then I have 3 Martha Stewart DVDs, and that is like all I own in terms of DVDs, because anything that I want to watch I can get at the library or on Hulu or Netflix or, you know, or online. I mean, like, I don't want to keep all that stuff in my house. It's kind of the same way with books. I mean, I really, the more stuff that I have, the more I want to get rid of it. You know, I just don't need this stuff in my house. So when it comes to books, I think you definitely want to just figure out what's super important to you, what you need right now, and not think too far in the future about what you're going to need. You know, just stick to what you need right now in terms of homeschool books, and look to the next year, maybe 2, but don't try to front load too much, because you know, you never know what time will bring, and you don't want to just have junk laying around your house. Don't just take everything that's free. You know, take the best. So anyway, that's my video for the day. I just wanted to talk to you about my bookshelves because it was requested.
hopefully that helps a little bit. And if I have anything else to add, I'll put it in another video. But that is all I gotta say about that. So, thank you for watching this VEDA video, and I will be back tomorrow with another one. Tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow I have Ricky is having his graduation meeting because he's technically already graduated high school, but they're going to do the actual graduation ceremony next month. So tomorrow we're going to be doing a graduation meeting, and the day after that is his senior pictures. So I'm probably going to see some videos on that because that's kind of what's on our mind, is homeschool graduation. So this Friday, Fundamentally Frugal Friday, normally I would give you a heads up on what's coming up, but this week we are going to have a special announcement about something that we're doing with Frugal Family Food. And I have something special in terms of my Fundamentally Frugal Friday tip. So this is a special week, so keep your eye out for Friday's video. So anyway, that's it. Make sure you check out thefundamentalhome.com and watch our other VEDA videos this weekend. If you haven't seen it, I went to the Mother Earth News Fair. I'll put a link up here so you can see it. And I met Wrangler Star and saw Joel Salatin, and it was amazing, and I'm still kind of reeling from that. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. Like and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Okay, I'm watching Tangy. Why am I watching her? Yeah, but like, I've never even talked to her before.
Tomato and sausage.
You can only see my hair.
That was Brianna. Everything I do is
Yeah, they're fun.